Next News, breaking news.
The Save America Act should be a slam dunk, right? Every American citizen gets to vote, and only American citizens get to vote. Sounds simple, right? So why is it being held hostage in a Republican-controlled Senate? Oh, here's where it gets ugly, folks. Reports are surfacing that Senator John Cornyn, a man who's supposed to be on our side, is allegedly blocking this critical election integrity bill and President Trump's recess appointments until he can get something in return. Trump's endorsement for his own political future. Are we watching the swamp protect itself in real time? Now, let me tell you what's at stake here. It's not just political theater. This is about when your vote, this is your vote, when a non-citizen walks into a DMV, checks a box, and registers to vote in a federal election, they're stealing something that belongs to you. They're diluting your voice. They're canceling out the sacred right that generations of Americans fought and died to protect. Senator Mike Lee laid it out perfectly. It's phenomenally easy for illegals to cast ballots under the current system. And who suffers? You do. Your family does. Your community does. Think about your local school board elections, your sheriff, your congressman. Every single illegal vote cast is a knife in the back of American self-governance. President Trump called our elections a laughingstock around the world, and he's absolutely right. Our enemies are watching. They see a nation that can't even secure its own ballot box. The Save America Act fixes this with 3 simple requirements: voter ID, proof of citizenship, and strict limits on mail-in ballots. It's not radical, it's just common sense, and yet establishment Republicans are playing games with our nation's future. And speaking of national security threats that the mainstream media refuses to cover, there is a developing story out of Washington that you need to be made aware of, because we're tracking a developing story, one the legacy media doesn't want you to see, as Iran is destabilizing the Middle East and President Trump is dropping Operation Epic Fury. The federal government just made a move that could reshape America's security posture. Now, here's the truth. Our nuclear subs, our warheads, our aircraft carriers, our next generation power grid, all of it depends on uranium. And we import almost every single pound of it. It's not about energy independence, it's about survival, because a nation that can't power its own military doesn't have a military for long. That's why smart investors are looking at companies like Atomic Minerals trading as ATMMF in the United States and ATOM in Canada, positioning themselves at the forefront of domestic uranium production. When national security meets investment opportunity, patriots pay attention. Make sure you take a look at the full briefing that is linked below just for Next News viewers exclusively. Now back to the betrayal unfolding in the Senate, because the story is far from over. Yes, here's what the establishment does not want you to connect. While senators like Rick Scott and Mike Lee are out there fighting for election integrity, telling you that millions of Americans across party lines want secure elections, we've got reports the same people who promised to push through Trump's agenda are now playing political extortion games. Senator Thune reportedly wants Trump to endorse Cornyn in exchange for moving the Save America Act forward. The same promises they've been making for over a year, and now we're supposed to believe them? Take a look at this. Here's President Trump's post on Truth Social. America's elections are rigged, stolen, and a laughingstock all over the world. Oh, not big enough? Here it is. We are either going to fix them or we don't have a country any longer. I'm asking all Republicans to fight for the following. Save America Act. All voters must show voter identification. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. Very simple. It's not really a heavy lift. It's not a big ask, right? But the only way we lose our republic is if we let illegals vote. But that's, of course, how Democrats want to play the game. We know how they love to steal elections. Now, this sets up the story, but watch how the White House is laying it out. The press secretary says it is a priority.
Prior to the Iran conflict, the SAVE Act was really the focus of the news cycle. Is the SAVE Act still a priority for the administration?
Absolutely.
Can you just provide an update on the administration's talks with Congress to get the SAVE Act through?
SAVE Act is absolutely still a priority for this president and the administration. The focus, of course, of much of the president's time right now is on ensuring the success of Operation Epic Fury, but the president can walk and chew gum at the same time, and he's very much continuing to focus on the issues that matter here at home for the American people, including the passage of the SAVE Act, including on bringing down the cost of living, which is why you'll see the president in about an hour and a half at the Ratepayer Protection Pledge Roundtable, where he will be sitting with big tech companies, with AI companies who are building in communities across the country and have pledged to pick up the cost of the electricity tab in these small towns and communities across the country, which is a great thing for American consumers. So you'll be hearing from the president directly on this very important domestic agenda item later this afternoon, and it's something that he mentioned in his State of Union address. So check it off the list as another promise made and kept by this president.
While the press secretary talks priorities, Senator Lee cuts right to the heart of what's at stake. When someone who's not an American citizen casts a vote in our country, it's taking away the power of your vote. It's taking something that doesn't belong to them, something that belongs to you.
It's stunningly easy for someone in almost any state of the union to walk into a DMV, fill out a form to apply for a driver's license, which you can do as a non-citizen in almost any state. And by merely checking a box and signing your name, you can register to vote, including to vote in a federal election, even though existing law prohibits anyone who is not a citizen from voting in a U.S. federal election. It's phenomenally easy to do so if they follow this stunning formula. That's why I've proposed the Save America Act, which would make sure that we have the tools necessary to protect your vote. Because anytime someone casts a vote in a federal election who is not an American citizen, it's taking away your vote. It's taking something that doesn't belong to them and that belongs to you uniquely as an American citizen.
Mike Lee laying it out. His warning about stolen votes is exactly what's driving grassroots fury across the nation. Right Scope writes, breaking, California would be a MAGA red state if there were mandatory voter IDs. Pass the Save America Act now. Do you support this? Yes or no? Make this go viral. Look at this. Listen to those horns. California. Yeah, it would be Trump country, but you have too many illegal voters. The viral energy shows massive public support, but notice how it's contrasting with what's happening behind the closed doors. Rick Scott, government exists to serve we the people, not the Washington swamp. Millions of Americans support the Save America Act. It's time to pass it and secure our elections. I'm actually quite pissed that I'm still covering this, that this has been going on and on and on.
You know, as an elected official, my job is to represent the citizens of my state. Now, all across the country, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, one thing they want right now is the Save America Act. They want to make sure their elections are secure. They don't want their vote diluted by somebody who could be 200 years old or somebody that's an illegal alien. We need to pass the Save America Act today.
Why are we still talking about it? Why? It's because you have rhinos who are holding it up. His call to action sounds great, but here's where the betrayal gets exposed. Senator John Cornyn is delaying President Trump's recess appointments after promising to push them through. Sources reporting that the Senate is holding the Save America Act hostage, with Cornyn in particular refusing to vote without Trump's endorsement.
We're talking about recess appointments.
On the
right
issue
now.
of vetting, though, how critical is it then to have access to what the House Ethics Committee has found in their investigation.
I think there should not be any limitation on the Senate Judiciary Committee's investigation, including whatever the House Ethics Committee has generated.
So you want to see it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now we got the smoking gun. Cornyn is not just delaying, he's literally holding Trump's agenda hostage for personal gain. Mike Engelman writes, Thune wants President Trump to endorse Never-Trumper John Cornyn in exchange for getting the Save America Act passed and recess appointments. Thune's been promising both for over a year, and now you're supposed to believe him? Cornyn said the same thing, then blocked Trump.
I've spoken with the president already today about Texas, and I'm certainly hopeful. I think, as probably you know, Martha, I've made no secret of the fact that I hope the president will endorse John Cornyn. He is an incredibly effective senator for the state of Texas, a strong conservative voice here in the United States Senate, and represents by far our very best hope of making sure that Texas stays red in November in that Senate election. And so we'll see. Ultimately, the president, he makes his own decisions, but I've certainly weighed in many times, I should say, in support of Senator Cornyn, and I believe he is not only going to win the primary, but the general election in November.
Yeah, I was just watching Matt Whitlock, who used to do the Republican Senate committee.
I mean, you hear him right there. He's telegraphing it right there, telegraphing the endorsement. So let me tell you what this really means. This is a swamp showing its true colors. They'll wave the Republican flag when the cameras are rolling, but behind closed doors, they're cutting deals and protecting their own power. President Trump's press secretary confirming just today the Save America Act remains an absolute priority for this administration. The president can walk and chew gum at the same time, handling Operation Epic Fury abroad while fighting for election integrity at home. Yes, it's a two-front war, but he can't do it alone when members of his own party are stabbing him in the back. Oh yes, the grassroots are watching. Conservative activists are lighting up social media demanding action. And these establishment Republicans better understand something. We remember who stood with Trump. We remember who played games with America's future. So here's your takeaway, patriots. The fight for election integrity isn't just one bill. It's about whether we actually have a country worth passing on to our children. President Trump is pushing for voter ID, proof of citizenship, and secure elections. That's really not controversial. That's just American. And anyone standing in the way, Republican or Democrat, needs to be called out and held accountable. Now, I want to hear from you right now in the comments. Should Republican senators who block the Save America Act face primary challenges? Yes or no? Let me know. And while you're at it, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss when we expose the swamp. Make sure you check out the Next News merch shelf right below this video and show the world where you stand. Share the video with every patriot you know, because the mainstream media won't tell them the truth. We will. I'm Gary Franchi. You're watching the Next News Network. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.